Kenny, your captain, and welcome to a very special Spooky Legends episode. In this video, we're going to leave Susanville and head down to Long Beach, California, and explore one of the most haunted places in the United States, the RMS Queen Mary. Well, the Queen Mary's maiden voyage was in May of 1936. She sailed the world's oceans for over 30 years. In 1967, the ship was permanently moored here in Long Beach, and it was converted into a museum and hotel. In 2016, I was fortunate enough to be able to spend 3 days and 3 nights aboard the Queen Mary. It was the 80th anniversary of the ship's maiden voyage, and it was also my birthday. Well, one of the first places I explored was the isolation ward at the stern of the ship. When the ship was in service, this was its hospital. During a voyage, if a crew member or passenger died, their bodies were stored in this area. And so this is where things first kind of got a little weird for me. I had my camera and my phone on me. Both had a fully charged batteries. And my camera that I was using, its autofocus started to go funny. You can see it right there. And then it just died. So I was able to turn it back on. And you can see here, the same thing happened again. The whole time I was on the ship, I could not keep any of my electronics charged. My mother and I, we stayed in the Windsor suite on the port side of M deck. It was the size of a house. It had a living room, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and they were all connected by a T-shaped hallway. When we first entered the suite, it felt very creepy. In fact, when we did finally go to bed, we had all the lights on in all the rooms. The first night, my mom was woken up by the bed covers being pulled and what felt like someone sitting at the foot of the bed. Like I said, all the lights were on and no one was there. We both also noticed cupboard doors open. They were, had a little latch. It's a ship, so they're not really designed to be able to open too easily. You got to lift up and pull out. But we kept finding them open. Well, there are several different paranormal tours that you can go on and take you to different parts of the ship that are normally closed off to the public. One of those places is the infamous room B340. It's said to be the most haunted room on the ship.
All right, folks, we have an elevated threshold here, so please step over the threshold so you don't trip. Come on in. Have you all step in here so everybody can can step in first. Feel free to take lots of photographs, video. Come on in, all the way. Who here saw the TV show Ghost Hunters when they did the Queen Mary? You did. Okay, there was a bed in this room, right? And the sheets, apparently from the bed, would come undone. And they discovered that somebody was pulling a joke, and this is the panel that they came through, and there's a door on the other side, and that's how they got through. They had to climb over these wires and all these pipes. It's a tight squeeze, but somebody thin could do it. The funny thing about this panel here is sometimes it just opens up by itself. Telling my guests as they're looking around with their video cameras and telling them the stories of the different hauntings and experiences in some of the rooms. Very slowly and very quietly, that porthole closed all by itself in a matter of 10 minutes.
During World War II, the Queen Mary served as a troop transporter. October 2nd, 1942, the Queen, now called the Great Ghost, accidentally ran over an escort ship. The ship was sliced in half, killing 338 people.
So folks, you see this area here? This is the repair job from the impact with the Kurosawa. And I think this incident here is the explanation for why there are so many apparitions toward the forward section of the ship. And we had a lady during dining with the spirits. She sat directly across the table from me. When I brought her down here, she could see the head of a man right down here in this hole right here. She said he had blonde hair and looked like Ilya Kuryakin with glasses. Ilya Kuryakin from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. in the 1960s was portrayed by David McCallum. You've probably seen him as Ducky on NCIS. Right there is where she saw his head. Now this lady was the only group out of about 30 people down here to see him. She was the only person. And across the table during dinner, she did slam down about 4 vodka tonics.
And I did get to go into the first class pool. Although it was so dark, it just really didn't turn out too well. Plus, my camera died again. I was able to get these 3 photos using a different camera, using a flash. Well, the tour then took us through the engine room and down shaft alley to door number 13. This is where a crew member was crushed to death.
So in case we have a structural damage or any type of like a crack in the hull, here's where they would press a button and all 38 doors would close. It takes a minute for the doors to close. One day on July the 10th, 1966, about a year before the Queen Mary came to Long Beach for her last time, this little button here, this little light here, was flashing. Every other light was glowing bright. That was an indication that something was wrong with the door. And what was wrong with the door is a crew member was inside it. He was literally crushed to death by that door.
And by the time we reached this part of the ship, both my cameras were dead. I had my back to this railing here. I was listening to the tour guide tell us about the man that was crushed to death. and I felt a hand on my elbow. I turned around. There was no one behind me. It was just the engine room area. And I didn't feel warmth or cold, just the sensation. I clearly felt fingers and a thumb grab my elbow. The next day, I returned to door number 13, and this is what I recorded. Whoa, is that you, buddy? Watch the top right of the screen, you can see what appears to be a spirit orb. Whoa, is that you, buddy? So that was my experience aboard the Queen Mary. I have to say it was quite amazing. I want to give a special thanks to the staff of the Queen Mary, and very special thanks to our tour guide, Tony. And thank you for watching. Give us a like, share, subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you next time.